welcome back to another constructive games critique conversation. Today, if you've seen the title, we want to be talking about complaining about everything. This is going to be a kind of controversial topic. A lot of you guys aren't going to like me after I say this because a lot of you guys participate in this. But I got to be honest about something. We live in an age of constant complaint. You go online, you'll find a thousand things being called the worst ever, the worst update, the worst game, the worst feature. Everything's a crisis, a scandal, or an outrage, right? But what happens when everything's a crisis? Every little annoyance gets the same level of outrage as a major ethical failure. The problem is our voices lose their power. When we complain about everything, we give companies permission to ignore us. If you scream about a broken in-game quest with the same intensity you talk about corporate greed, what's a company to do? They're just going to turn the volume down on all of it. Let's look at two examples. First is microtransactions, right? You hear it all the time. Microtransactions are a scam. They're ruining gaming. But is the problem truly with the existence of a digital item for sale, or is our own lack of self-control? A compulsion buy is something we really don't need. And some of you guys buy it just because of FOMO or this idea that you're completing the game if you own it. No game company is forcing you to buy a cosmetic sword. Just putting it in the digital shelf. You have the power to say no. But by framing the entire industry as the villain, we shift the conversation away from personal responsibility and towards a problem that doesn't actually exist in the way we claim it does. Now here's a tougher question. Can a video game company like the one recently labeled the worst company in the world, and that's EA, and I don't know if they've recently had that title, but they've had that title notoriously as the worst company in the world. Can they really be considered that though? Right? I mean, let's be real. There are companies out there that profit from child slave labor. There are companies that directly contribute to sex trafficking. There are companies that knowingly dump toxic waste into rivers and oceans, poisoning entire communities. These are issues of human rights, suffering, and environmental devastation. So when we give a company a title like worst in the world because they release a disappointing game, we're not just being dramatic, we're actively distracting from real, profound evil in the world. We are shouting about a luxury while people are suffering because of a necessity. This brings us to another part of the problem, right? We often hear this phrase, don't pre-order games. The idea is that it sends a message to publishers that we won't buy a game unseen, right? Or unplayed, or you can't tempt us into buying a game because you're promising something. And while that can be a powerful statement, it can also have an unintended consequence for a project you might actually like. You think that you're affecting the developers. I've heard this narrative, oh yeah, we don't want to pre-order Battlefield 6 and they end up not being very effective. Hell, I pre-ordered it and I keep my pre-order. But you hear this thing about, oh yeah, we want to force the devs to not be lazy. It's kind of insulting, don't you think? And I'm about to touch on that. Like, so pre-order numbers are a critical measure for investors. If a game you're excited about, like maybe a Battlefield 6, has low pre-order numbers, what does that signal to the company? It tells them the market may not be interested. This could lead to them being pulled off of the game, could resources being pulled off the game. The project may actually come out, but may not get all of the content that was intended to get. Like, this is what you guys understand. You have a very bad habit of saying ignorant stuff like the devs are lazy, or the devs are stupid, or they're foolish, or they don't care. You guys really don't understand development if you think a developer's lazy. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certainly, there's games out there, and you see a lot of them on Steam. They're asset flips. Somebody literally goes in the Unreal Engine store, they buy a bunch of assets, or they get them off Humble Bundle, and they make a game, and the game barely works, or it works, but there's really nothing to it. It's literally just like an asset flip. That's the laziest, quote unquote, game development really gets outside of when AI becomes a thing as far as game development is concerned. I don't think we're quite there yet. and I'm not sure we'll even know when we are. But the whole point is that when you call developers lazy after a game's release, you're ignoring the reality of the work. The people who made that game likely spent months, if not years, working long hours, missing time with their families, and sacrificing parts of their personal lives. The work may have been guided by management decisions or financial pressures, not a lack of effort. It's disingenuous to call someone lazy who has poured so much of their life into a project, even if the final result wasn't what you hoped for. Our outrage is a tool. It's one of the most powerful things we have as consumers, but as a tool, it's only useful if it's used for the right job. So the next time you're about to write that fiery post or record an angry video, take a moment. Ask yourself, is this a big issue or a small one? Is this a problem I can solve by choosing not to buy, or is it a problem that truly demands my outrage? Save that passion for something that truly matters. Be selective. Get serious. Our voices deserve to be heard when it counts, not just because something's not going your way. And besides, the way the market is now, there's too many choices to get caught up in getting mad about one game not going the way you want it to. It's ridiculous. All right. You see it a lot. Like, it's getting to the point where I'm willing to say, and I'm probably going to explain this in another video, that we have made the market we hate so much. We complained ourselves into a corner, and now we're dealing with it. We gotta stop it, man. We gotta chill. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about it.